If you haven't listened to those episodes, it'll fill in a lot of the information there. I get sleep ever since that shit happened with Eric. I get sleep paralysis on a regular basis, and I'm always being attacked by something, and it's always that thing that he conjured up, and or at least that's the feeling I always get when I'm getting sleep paralysis. And
but if we're sleeping together, you know it's me trying to.
yeah, it's like, Adrian. Oh, Adrian.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Half and Half Podcast.
Sorry, I was right in the middle of a swig. Hey.
Why is it so dark in here?
Hey. It kind of is, huh?
Yeah. Did you forget that light?
Oh, it's the on-air sign is not on.
Oh, well.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, we're all right.
All
it's
right.
kind of
moody,
dark and sexy in here. So what's going on?
Oh, man. I'm exhausted.
You just came back from vacay, right?
Yeah.
Give us a little bit about that, because our goal today was just to get straight into
horror, Halloween shit.
Stuff. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the whole reason why I went on vacay, so it kind of ties in. Yeah, man. I mean, I've been back for 1, 2, 3. Today's the 4th day, and I'm still like coming down off the high.
Yeah.
Like you go through a really fun experience, which even though it's not the first time of experiencing like all those endorphins and everything, you know. So for anybody listening, you know, me and my wife love Disneyland, Universal Studios. I think this is our 4th or 5th time we've gone.
Yeah.
But this only our 2nd time going during Halloween, which is what makes it so exciting. So we do the whole Disney experience. Really cool things like the Haunted Mansion gets transformed into like the Nightmare Before Christmas theme. Then like Universal, we pay for what's called Horror Nights.
So all the Michael Myers stuff you sent me, that was Universal.
Yeah.
Not Disneyland.
No, right.
Oh,
right.
Got you.
So Universal, what they do during this time is they shut down early. And then it turns into all of a sudden all the horror people come out.
Yeah.
And a bunch of their stuff gets transformed into like haunted houses and really cool experiences.
That's awesome.
So this year was really neat because the last time we did it, we had to like walk down. Like they actually open up the studios, the actual studios that they film movies and TV shows in.
Really?
And last year the time we went last sucked because, well, last year we were supposed to go, but fucking Southwest Airlines canceled our flights because their fucking pilots went on strike.
I forgot about that. That was last year?
Yeah, it was last year, yeah.
I don't know why it seems like forever ago.
And then the year before that was the pandemic, and then the year before that is actually the last time we went. Mm-hmm. But when we did it, we had to walk all the way down there. So like, you know, dude, like we managed to put in each day about 30,000 steps.
Your beautiful Crocs didn't help that,
dude.
walking?
They helped out so much. They actually helped out so much, dude. You don't even know. Like normally I'm dying by the end of the day, but dude, I felt great. Like both nights we got to the hotel and I was like, I could go for a jog.
Well, you actually have plantar fasciitis or whatever the hell it's called.
Plantar fasciitis, yeah.
So these helped you with that.
Yeah. Like I've talked about before, I was in a lot of sports as a kid, and then I became a teacher, and so being on my feet all the time really took its toll. Yeah, you know. But no, I was great. Matter of fact, my daughter went with us, and she was the one that was struggling. You know,
really?
Yeah. Her legs were hurting her, her feet were hurting her. Like, so we actually almost ended up renting a wheelchair for her because she was struggling.
Wow.
But but it's cool because then like for example, we got to see like they had haunted houses on like the set of Nope.
What?
On the actual set of Nope.
Wow.
The actual set of Psycho.
Yeah.
Like the actual original set.
Yeah.
You know, they had the Halloween, the Michael Myers one, which was amazing.
Insane. The videos that you'd sent me, and then you've been posting shorts on your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Crazy. I had no idea stuff like that happened.
Yeah.
So I told my wife, prior to you going or showing me everything, we had said next year has to be the year. Our kids are already getting older. Like, we need to do it. And when you sent me that shit, it's a for sure.
Yeah, dude, you have to do it.
Yeah.
And then I can show you how, like, we get what's called fast passes, where pretty much you get to cut the line. And I don't understand why people don't do it, man. Like, you pay
expensive?
No, not really. You pay a little bit more each ticket.
Yeah.
And you literally, versus an hour and 20 minutes in line versus 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a no-brainer.
I'd pay an insane amount. I'm very impatient, so dude, I would do it.
And so we, especially during the horror nights, because they close early, so we do that so we can ride everything before they close.
Oh, so you still do rides and all that?
Oh, yeah. All day we do the rides, and then they close, and so you hang out for, that's when we go eat dinner or whatever, hang out, and then all of a sudden the monsters come out, and they just transform everything.
This is at Universal?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, okay, so speaking of your trip, let me tell you, man, because of your house, right?
Yeah.
The shit that goes on there, I'm nervous to begin with.
Right.
It's no secret if you're a new listener and you've yet to go back to last year's Halloween episodes, I'm a big old pussy when it comes to the paranormal. Big time.
Yeah.
So every time I go into your house, because again, I watched the dogs for you for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
you, by the way.
You're welcome. This time was a double whammy. I had to do it twice a day instead of once a day. So it was quadruple the scare for me.
Yeah.
But this time was a little worse. Going into it, I knew it was going to be there.
Right.
But so a few months ago, you bought this awesome replica of the Chucky doll.
Yeah.
Right? The good guy doll. He's in the box and everything. This motherfucker right here leaves it on the fireplace where it's right in my eye path. Right? I'm letting the dogs out. 2 of the dogs, the new baby, as soon as I let him out, he runs straight to the water.
Right.
So instead of like shoving them outside, closing the door, running into the garage, I had to stand there. So I'm waiting for him. He's drinking water like he's never had water before.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm just like, come on, little buddy. And then as soon as I look up, that fucking doll is staring right at me. So my mind instantly starts, he's going to blink. He's going to look at me and say, do you want to be my friend or fucking whatever he said?
Yeah.
Dude, it was horrible. Fucking horrible.
When you text me that, you text me something about the Chucky doll, like staring at you or whatever.
Yeah.
I was dying because I was like, that's exactly how I imagined it. Like you just kind of doing your thing, and then all of a sudden, like you just make eye contact.
Oh, dude, that's exactly what it was. Because he would not stop drinking water, and I was like, come on. And as soon as I just looked up, it's like, fuck.
That's awesome. So actually on that note, I got you a little gift.
Stop it.
Of course, because we've been doing that when we go out of town, right? It's like a thing.
Yeah, we
now.
started doing it all of a sudden, yeah.
But obviously the fact that you really went out of your way to help us out with our dogs.
I love you guys. You guys are my family.
I know.
Danny's my best friend.
Hold on, get that going. But anyways, I wanted to share a gift that I found for you.
You guys are
it's kind
cute.
of in theme with what we've been doing, but I really think you're gonna like this one. So
you shouldn't have done that, man. I love helping.
Dude, I get excited. Like I get super, super excited. So I'm gonna show people real quick. I'm filming it real quick, so everybody.
Please tell me it's a Michael Myers dildo, please. What?
Close.
What is this? Are these socks?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But how cool is that? Like,
dude, it matches your hoodie.
And then with the coffin,
know.
The box.
Oh my god. Thank you. Dude, I don't even want to wear them. These are like collector's edition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, when we get married, I'll wear them. Special day. Oh, these are amazing. Look at that.
Yeah. When I saw them, I was like, I have to get those.
Oh, dude, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Dude, it has a date on them, right? Like,
yeah,
I think I'm going to display these. Tell Danny not to get mad. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Oh, I love him, Batch. Thank you so much.
Yeah. When I saw, because we were like trying to find, obviously we were like, we're here for horror nights. Like we have to get Adrian something horror.
Wait,
so
get it in the box though. Oh, you already did it, right? You already.
yeah. I got.
Dude,
so
these are fucking awesome, man.
yeah, when I saw those, I was like, oh, you know, we went back to the whole socks thing. I was like, but these are like perfect.
You know what I'm gonna do? Though my channel is toys, it's the month of Halloween. I've been premiering horror toys
Yeah.
all month long.
Right.
Fuck that. I'm gonna make a short about these. Oh man, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I love them. Danny, thank you. I'll text you later, but thank you.
Yeah.
Oh man, those are fucking super. I'm not gonna wear them, to me, this is like, you know me. I'm a collector.
Right.
The date, the tag, like this is a collector's item.
Yeah. No,
You know
it's
what I
true.
mean?
Yeah, it is.
And that's so weird. I saw your hoodie and I was like, fuck, that's a cool hoodie. Oh man, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome, dude.
Now I feel bad for talking shit about you while I was watching your dogs.
Hurry the fuck up.
Yeah. No, I was just scared of that fucking doll, dude. Look, if this were the Esmeralda house, or what was the name of your old street?
Loma Esmeralda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would take my pants off. As a matter of fact, one year I watched the dogs and Fidel refused to fucking listen to me.
That's right. Yeah.
And I just sat there. I was in your house for like a solid hour, just sitting there until he wanted to go to his cage.
Yeah.
Every 30 seconds I go, great, or cage, whatever it is. And he would just look at me like, this motherfucker right here thinks he's my dad.
Yeah.
So I would just sit there. If it were that house, I would have sat there.
Yeah.
But no. So I wanted to get the fuck out.
Did you ever see the Lord Raven in the front?
Yes. I walked,
okay.
I mean, through the outside. I walked up and I just saw his face staring at me.
Yeah.
I got to drive by at night though.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, actually, I'm in the middle of. I got excited when we went over there, and I was like, "Why am I spending so much money on these pre-made animatronics, these pre-made decorations, when I could make some myself?"
Mm-hmm.
So, as soon as I got home, I ordered like a 7-foot tall mannequin. A Michael Myers mask. I used to have, remember the like old school one?
What happened to it?
I have no idea what happened to it.
Oh, that's weird.
So I was like, I'm going to put a life-size Michael Myers outside. So I'm going to make him myself.
Speaking of you getting that mannequin, do not do anything weird with it.
Jeffrey
Like
Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer. Look, if you're going to rub up and grab a crotch, let it be mine. I'll pretend to be dead. That's fine.
Dude,
Hey,
I just finished that.
He was into brown guys anyway.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So let me be your brown guy.
You know, so what did you think of that? I just finished it.
Dude, it was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'm down to watch it all over again.
Yeah. I thought it was that good too.
Evan, whatever his name is, really fucking shocked me. I only know him. There's this, for anybody who doesn't know, I'm a big combat sport guy. I love MMA. I love boxing. Back in the day, he was in this movie called Never Back Down. It was an MMA movie. He's Quicksilver from the MCU, for people who don't know. Marvel. He's in a few Marvel movies. So to see him play such a character threw me off, but he did it so fucking well. Because look, Jeremy Renner, who's also Hawkeye in the MCU, in the early 2000s, he came out in a Jeffrey Dahmer movie. The movie was good. It was okay, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is a few people have played Jeffrey Dahmer, and this dude just fucking stole the show. Amazing.
Well, you know where I know him from?
Where?
American Horror.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he came out on that. Yeah.
He comes out on a few of the seasons, actually.
Oh, so you've already seen him in like a serious role.
Yeah.
I hadn't.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I had it. I've always wanted to go back because I hear such good things about American Horror Story. You've said it. A couple of guys at work have said it. But you know me, how I am. When there's like fucking 9 seasons, I'm like, ugh.
Well, the beauty of American Horror is, so first of all, I only like 2 of the seasons.
Really?
All the other ones suck. But the beauty of it is that every season is completely different. So you can literally watch season 5 and it has
so
no connection to
there's no order.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a little better.
But there's only 2 seasons that I like.
Tell me which ones they are, because I'll start with those.
Yeah.
Because you and I have kind of the same taste on horror.
Oh yeah, the other ones are just I don't like them at all. But there's a new one supposedly coming out soon, I think.
Yeah, I
or
saw that.
did come out.
So what did you think about Dahmer?
I loved it. I think going in, I thought I was gonna get that ugly, like, sometimes you see certain horror movies are real gritty, and you get that like, ugh, like you kind of feel it in the pit of your stomach.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's uncomfortable to watch, but that's the whole point, right? Like Texas Chainsaw, does a good job of doing that.
Yes.
I thought I was gonna get that with this. My wife did, but I didn't.
Yeah, I did.
I was beyond floored with how good it was.
Dude, let's even take out the fact that the movie was written well. It was produced fucking well.
Right.
The way they told this story, you and I are movie people. Though you work the camera, I don't. We're still movie people. The production and how they told this story is, I've never seen its equal in terms of serial killers, right? Like I said, there's other Jeffrey Dahmer movies. There's a John Wayne Gacy, but the way Netflix did this particular series, fucking mind blowing.
What I really appreciated was the fact that I started reading up on it and on him in particular a little bit more because although I knew the basics, I didn't know the story that in depth. And sometimes when you see movies or shows on serial killers, they embellish and
right.
But dude, I didn't realize how true to the actual story so much. Almost all of it was pretty much true to the story.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Obviously, there's certain things that happen that we don't know if they really happen that way. But you know what I mean? Yeah. Like everything down to when he gets killed in prison. Although they flipped that, I was reading how he'd actually died in prison, and how they killed that dude in the shower first.
Wait a minute. Spoiler for anybody.
Well, I think everybody knows Dahmer gets killed in prison.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't know how. Maybe people don't want to have it spoiled. You just got a spoiler alert.
That's true.
Come on, be a friend. Okay, go ahead.
It was just a real simple fact that, like, actually Dahmer was killed first, and then his friend.
Was it really?
Yeah, but the way it went down and everything was exactly the same.
The thing that creeped me out about that scene, what made it, look, I'm religious, right? No secret. I say it all the time. I pray for you and your satanic brother. But when people use God and religion as an excuse to kill people and they're doing the Lord's work and all that, it creeps me out. And the way that dude was just like spouting off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's really why he said he did it.
Yeah. It was just, man, that part creeped me out more than like.
That's why I'm not religious. Because God will never come to me and say, I need you to kill somebody.
He's going to come to me, and I bet you're going to be the first person.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but it was fucking great, man.
You technically you shouldn't be religious. You enjoy men, and you're not supposed to enjoy men according to the Bible.
Look, we're all aware of our contradictions, okay? It's called repenting. That's great about being Catholic. Okay? You go to confession once a week, and you are solid.
Oh, man, when I was a kid, because I went to Catholic school, right? That's how I used to think. Like, I could do whatever the hell I want. I go confess every Friday morning. I'm good.
It's like in, what's one of our favorite movies? Bronx Tale. When the kid confesses it's about seeing a murder and all that.
Oh, yeah.
The priest was like, 3 Hail Marys and 4 Our Fathers. That's it, Father? For a murder rap?
It's such a good movie, too.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, it's fucking great series. The part that really fucking tripped me out, again, because of the way they produced this movie, edited it, told the story, there was a scene where they showed, for whatever reason, that random ass part with John Wayne Gacy.
Oh, yeah.
And
I thought that was weird.
And I was like, fuck, please make a series on John Wayne Gacy.
That'd be great. Well, didn't they also show, it wasn't just him, right? Oh, no, it was just him.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird.
And for people who are listening, we are not crazy psychopaths. We don't condone murder. We don't condone what Jeffrey Dahmer did. It's just cinema, and it fucking was awesome the way they made it. You know what I mean?
It's a really... Sorry, my phone rang and it's connected to the computer.
That is rude.
It's a... it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah.
in the end, I feel like he kind of got what he deserved. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like it's already happened. It's interesting. It's the same as people that like to watch animals kill each other in the wild. It's not that I like to watch it. I'm just interested in knowing the details. And when you can put it into a format that it's like kind of almost enlightening to understand what really took place.
Right.
It just makes for it's like watching any TV show on anything. It's just kind of like oh shit, that's how it happened.
I agree with you. My obsession, and I think obsession is the wrong word, but me being intrigued by serial killers for such a long time and murderers, it's not in the sense of it's fascinating. Whoa, man.
Right.
It's always been like, because the type of person I am, I couldn't hurt a fly, and I couldn't even fathom hurting somebody like that. So I want to know why or how.
Yeah, it's like trying to understand their psyche, the psyche behind it, and the mentality, and almost kind of puts you on your toes too in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like so I was just obviously in California, right? And I know California is a big state, but there was a serial killer that they think they just captured him.
Yeah, Stockton.
Yeah, and you can't help but think like, fuck, these people are walking around amongst us.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's kind of scary. And it just makes me, for example, I think have a little bit more situational awareness.
Oh, absolutely.
Where you're just kind of aware of your surroundings. And
dude, I think the other day on our last podcast, I told you my life philosophy and motto: never say never.
Yeah.
But another thing that I always teach my kids: always mind your surroundings.
Yeah.
As soon as you walk somewhere in, scan the place down, look for the idiot, go the other way.
You know who else I think has that same never say never philosophy?
Who?
Justin Bieber.
Yeah. Never say never.
Last time you said that, I got that song in my head. I didn't want to piss on your what you were saying last time, so I didn't say anything. I was like, I'll wait. So now that you brought it up again,
you can use it. You've been holding on to that one. Yeah. But yeah, man, I go anywhere. I go to the movies, I scan the exit. I go to a restaurant, I scan everything. You go walk into us here in El Paso, due to the Walmart massacre or whatever they call it these days.
Yeah.
We're more inclined to be on our toes when you walk into a fucking store.
It's why I, years back, I went to get my license to carry a gun, and now you don't need a freaking license, which makes it even that much worse, right?
I've been carrying 2 guns for 17 years, my man.
2 guns and a pipe. Yeah, I mean, it makes me think of something, since we're going to go into talking about the ghost story stuff. It always makes me think of something my grandpa used to tell me all the time. I know you go in my house and you get scared because of what's happened and with my ghost and stuff like that.
No,
but my
ghosts.
My grandfather used to tell me something, and he would said it on more than one occasion, and it always stuck with me. He always said, "Don't be afraid of the dead, be afraid of the living."
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that's why when I think of the ghosts and all that, I get fascinated. But when I think about just people and the psychos that are amongst us, and sometimes you don't even know it, especially, I don't know if it's just media. I mean, I try to stay away from news and all that stuff, but you can't avoid media lately. It's so much crazy shit going on.
Dude, real quick about the news. Oh. Remember the last time on our last podcast, I told you my morning routine? Mm-hmm. I was trying to get in my groove the other day, and somebody interrupted me, and I got so mad, and I thought about the podcast right away. I said, "This is exactly. I wish I was filming this right now, because this motherfucker is ruining my morning." I should have told him, "Go listen to my last podcast, guy, and you'll understand."
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird world and weird time that we live in.
It is, and you know what? Though I am not on social media. I mean, is YouTube considered social media?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I do read a lot of news articles. I watch YouTube religiously. I think it's different this time because it's this day and age, because it's just so accessible. You can see and read and hear all the horrible things that are happening as to where 20 years ago, it's like you had to look for it. So you lived your life normal.
Or information didn't get around so quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why a part of me is like, okay, obviously our media tends to gravitate towards the shit, the negative shit, right? Mm-hmm. But how much of it is that they're just finding everything negative and feeding us that? And how much of it is really that shit's going to shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I mean,
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think we're definitely in strange times as far as things
I mean,
going
because
to
like
shit,
crime rates everywhere have gone up since like the pandemic.
Big
and,
time.
Yeah.
New York is fucking like, people keep, like, I just saw an article the other day, and this is like the 5th time the people are just standing waiting for the subway, and random people are pushing random people onto the trailway.
Oh, right. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, you can see videos of it. And that's the other thing too. I'm like, I always think to myself, like, nowadays you can pretty much almost be nowhere without being on camera.
Yeah.
Like, don't these people realize that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's weird. But going back to what we originally said, there are serial killers amongst us, and you just got to be kind of aware of your surroundings. That's it. That's all I can really say.
Yeah.
I mean, this last serial killer in California, he was targeting Hispanic men.
Was he? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. He, I think, like, there were 7 victims. I think 4 of them were Hispanic men. Sorry, got a text.
Chingado.
And yeah, so I mean, you never know. You never know. There's those that target women, children. I just watched that movie. Speaking of movies, I really enjoyed it, by the way. Black Phone.
Oh yeah, I've yet to see it.
Oh, dude.
I heard it was good.
You want me to tell you the end?
You might as I'm sure you're going to.
No, dude, that was a really good movie.
Really?
A really good movie.
There's so many good horror movies out right now that I want to see. There's that one. There's this movie that just came out. It's called Piggy. Mm-hmm. It's a Spanish movie with English subtitles. That one looks fucking incredible.
Oh, really?
Supposedly, I had heard of this movie, The Terrifier, before. You know what I'm talking about?
I've never heard of it.
Okay, it's about some clown, killer clown, whatever. So part 1, I was like, oh, boring. They just recently came out with part 2. Mm-hmm. And there's articles all over the internet how people are fainting. Mm-hmm. They are physically throwing up or just walking out of the theater. And the producer came out and said, oh yeah, my goal was to make people very uncomfortable with this movie.
Oh, wow.
And I think the last time there was such a reaction to a horror movie was either Blair Witch or even The Exorcist, I want to say.
I thought Blair Witch was stupid, man.
Oh, jeez. I fucking loved it.
It took me actually about 2 or 3 attempts to actually be able to watch it.
But did you watch it in 1999 when it came out?
I tried and I was bored.
Like, you went to the theater to watch it?
No, I didn't go to the theater. I waited for it to come out. I think I rented the DVD. But I was like super bored. I thought it was
great. It was for the time. Think about the time. Think about horror movies at the time. I think it was great.
I mean, I can appreciate, what they did and how it was different at the time. Yeah. But I was always waiting for something to scare me, and I just never got scared.
Oh, yeah, that was the point.
Because I was like, if that was me, the last thing I'd be worrying about is filming my face.
Or filming, period. To me, that's what's wrong with this culture. We're watching TV and they're saying, oh, so-and-so's getting beat up. And you got 90 people, instead of helping this fucking guy, filming his demise.
That's a Seinfeld episode.
What?
At the very end of the Seinfeld series, that's what kicks off the last 2 final episodes. So they take a trip together, and there's a guy getting mugged. And so instead they pull out the camera and start filming it, and they're like laughing at him, like, look at the guy getting mugged, instead of helping.
Oh, jeez.
And so apparently where they're at, there's like a law that you're supposed to intervene if you see somebody in distress or whatever. Damn it, who keeps calling me? Sorry, it's going to ring again. And so it sets off this whole trial. So the last couple of episodes, it's like all the people in Seinfeld on trial for that crime. And so, but anyways, I always think of that episode.
Hey man, if you're not gonna help, I know people are afraid to help, but fucking use your phone to call the cops. some shit.
Well, you got to also understand back then there was really no cell phones.
Well, yeah,
when that Seinfeld episode was
I'm not
made.
talking that in particular. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
You got a new phone case, huh?
Yeah, and a new phone.
What's
It's
his name?
I'm getting really, I'm getting really weird calls from. Speaking of California, from California.
Maybe you want a trip.
Anyways, yeah, it's one of those things where, yeah, I understand. Like a lot of, it's just hard for people to. You have your fight or flight, right? And now you have fight or flight or film.
Yeah, the 3 Fs. Which one are you? Fight, flight, film.
I mean, yeah, I love filming shit. Like while I was over there, I was filming shit, but I was mostly, my purpose of filming was for content.
Yeah.
You know, because, well, I mean, that's what we do.
We're YouTubers now.
We share content. So it was like, this is cool content, especially because I remember before I went over there, I was looking for videos of people filming what was going on because I like to watch it because it gets me all excited to go over there.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, there's like nothing. I can't find anything good. So I made a point. Like I didn't film. Actually, my wife probably filmed more than I did because she knew like, oh, he's probably going to want this later. But yeah, anyways.
So speaking of Michael Myers and Halloween, have you seen Halloween Ends?
So we were going to watch it.
So that's a no.
And then I was like, wait a minute. This is in theaters.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I want to watch it here at home. Maybe we should go to the movie theater to watch it.
Yeah.
And that was my idea. But then when I was like, let's go. And then my wife was like, but there's other movies we can watch at the movie theater. And I was like, no, but this is Halloween. Like, so I still haven't watched it.
Danny, you just broke my heart, man.
Yeah, like
what other movies are there that you much rather watch than Halloween Ends?
Exactly.
God.
Yeah. So just all I want to know, is it good?
What?
Because, you know, Halloween movies are...
Yeah. It's...
Sometimes they're good, sometimes not so much.
I loved it. Personally, I loved it.
Okay, compared to the last one.
I can't say without giving you the deeds, man.
So speaking of Halloween, you know I'm obsessed with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yes, you are.
You know who Kyle Richards is, right?
No.
Kyle Richards is one of the housewives, the original housewives of Beverly Hills. Also sister of Kathy Hilton, who's the mother of Paris Hilton. Okay. Kyle Richards, she's the little girl from the original Halloween. And she actually came out in the last Halloween as well.
Which little girl in the original Halloween?
I can't remember the name. I can show you.
Lindsay?
I have to look it up for you as we talk. But anyways, so...
Because Lindsay has come out in the past 2. Brown hair, bangs.
Yes.
Yeah. She got her nose pierced.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lindsay.
So... Yeah. So anyways, this last... we were watching the reunion of the Housewives, this last episode that came out last week. And what's her name came out and surprised them all.
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
So anyways, I mean, I know you still won't watch The Real Housewives of...
I'll watch that episode.
Well, she's in every episode, though. Well, Kyle is. But anyways, I thought that was a fun little connection there.
That's awesome. Dude, supposedly from what Jamie Lee Curtis says, that this is the end. Like, for real, for real.
Is it, though?
Well, you gotta watch
I mean, how many movies are there now?
Okay, man, all right.
No, not that there's anything wrong with it. I love the fact...
I had to explain this the other day to my little brother because he was in town.
Right.
My oldest little brother. What a lot of people are not understanding for the casual Halloween fan. Halloween in 2018, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. Those are the official part 3, 4, and 5.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Halloween 1, Halloween 2, and 78 and 80 whatever, 1 and 2. Okay, so wait. Let's go back. So Halloween 1, Halloween 2, you have Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, Halloween 4, Return of Michael Myers, so on and so forth. But after Halloween 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, even 8 are washed out. Those were never official, true sequels and number 3, number 4, number 5.
Oh, really?
So Danny McBride,
But what makes them not official? I'm just curious.
John Carpenter, Mustafa Akkad, and I forgot some other, Deborah Hill, they didn't want to go on with the franchise. So somebody else came in and did all these.
Because I know, didn't Rob Zombie? No, that was Texas Chainsaw.
No, Rob Zombie did, quote unquote, reboot Halloween. That was a reboot.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't anything to do with the actual Halloween universe.
Right.
So you take Season of the Witch on to Resurrection. I think that was the last one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Scrap all of those. Danny McBride and Blumhouse came in and said, we want to make the official Halloween number 3 continuation from Halloween Part 2. So these last 3 are the official 3, 4, and 5. John Carpenter even came back for these. So this is 3, 4, and 5. So that's why everyone says, but there's so many. How many more are we going to get? No, scrap all that. This is 1, 2 in the 70s, 3, 4, and 5. So in that universe, John Carpenter, Deborah Hill, that whole Jamie Lee Curtis official, this is it.
I didn't know Danny McBride was involved. That's cool.
He's the one who brought it back. It
Oh,
was his idea to continue.
I love that guy.
Me too, man. Dude, no one's going to find it funny, but I'm going to say it anyway. They did a remake or a reboot of Land Before Time, Lost Time. What was
Land
it?
Before Time with the dinosaurs?
No.
Oh, I know what you're talking about with Will Ferrell.
Yeah, with Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie?
Yes,
Dude.
I love that movie.
The part that made me fall in love with him
Chaka chaka.
was when they found that giant beam, and every time you touched it, your voice would distort, and they would go, "Oh, this is so weird!" Like it would do that auto-tune thing, and out of nowhere, he starts going, "Do you believe in love?" Dude, I was fucking dying.
So that's one of those movies that a lot of people don't pay attention to, but dude, I love that movie.
Oh yeah,
absolutely love it.
Dude, so do I.
Man, like Chaka, he's freaking hilarious. He's a little perv.
But anyway, I highly recommend it. Danny, you need to cool it, and you need to see this movie in the theater.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, dude, why would you want to experience it at home?
Exactly my point. So when she brought that up, it kind of killed my vibe. I was kind of like, I guess.
We're going to have bestie talk later.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's, I mean, again, I want you to form your own opinion on it. But
yeah,
I always carry things with a huge bias because I love Michael Myers. I even love the Rob Zombie shit. I love 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I love them all.
Yeah.
But being as how this is the official storyline, I love it.
I made my daughter watch House of a Thousand Corpses the other day.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
I like Rob Zombie films.
I do too. I don't know why anybody wouldn't like.
I have yet to see The Munsters, and everyone's shitting on it, but I don't care about other people's opinions. Like that stuff doesn't, because I'll mention a movie, and my wife and my son, because we're all movie buffs. Right off the bat, it got a 32 on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I think it's because people don't get. Like, I think Rob Zombie's really good at trying to create authentic things.
He really wants to stick to the tried and true horror format.
Right. And not
70s,
turn it into this
80s.
like stupid. Yeah, like exactly. Like even when you watch House of a Thousand Corpses, he really went out of his way to give you that ugly. In the beginning of this episode, when I was talking about that feeling you get when you see Dr. Satan and all that, like you get that feeling like, oh my God, that's terrible, you know? But
same thing with Devil's Rejects.
Yeah.
I have yet to see, what's it called? Salem's Witches or Salem something, and The Three from Hell. I have yet to see those.
I haven't seen those at all, actually.
I have yet to see those.
I didn't even know they existed.
Yeah, he came out with 2 more.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know he did the Texas Chainsaw, right? Wasn't it him that did or was it only Halloween?
It was only Halloween.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, he has not rebooted Texas Chainsaw.
Then I thought he did. Mm-hmm. I know they rebooted it, but I thought for some reason he had something to do with it.
Yeah. No, they've tried to reboot that movie in 2003.
Yeah, I think that's what I was talking about. Like the one where it's literally the remake, which I think they did a good job, whoever did it.
Yeah, the one with Jessica Biel and all these other people.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, but
yeah.
You can't beat the original.
Oh, that's who else comes out in the Dahmer series. They talk about Ed Gein.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I was thinking they're talking about somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the dad tries to reason with him about Ed Gein or whatever and tells him try to get him to.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry. But anyways.
Yeah. So I had some notes here. I'm trying to keep everything on the Halloween tip.
Yeah, of course.
And I have never asked you this. So in the world of what they call Universal monsters, right? The original monsters.
What?
I trust me, motherfucker. I know you do. We would not have made it this far. Vampires, werewolves, mummies. Where are you at?
Vampires, man.
Oh, me. I knew you were going to say that.
Dude, I don't even have to freaking think twice about that.
Yeah.
People think I'm stupid, but I love Twilight, man. And I know you're going to think that's stupid.
I think I honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I've only seen one, I think.
I don't know what it is. I like almost all vampire movies.
Yeah, vampires are great.
And what I appreciated it, even though it was meant for like high school girls that are in love, I tend to side or I can relate to the high school girls in love at times.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it was a modern take on vampires that was, I can't even find the words right now. And because I know people are probably going to disagree, and I'm totally okay with that. But it's hard to find the words to try to get people to even consider watching it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because they automatically see the glittery faces.
Oh yeah, the sparkly vampires is what they call them.
And I don't know. I genuinely like it. One of my favorite TV shows ever is called What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, you and Gussie, man.
Really?
I've never seen it.
Dude. So first of all, a friend of mine, her daughter, she told me about this movie called What We Do in the Shadows. Her daughter worked on the movie. And I was like, oh, I've never seen it.
Wait,
and
which movie?
What We Do in the Shadows.
The one with Johnny Depp?
No, it's called What We Do in the Shadows. It has nothing to do with, there's no famous actors in it, nothing.
No, I know there's the show.
Yeah. But there was a film first.
Then maybe keep going.
So she had told me her daughter worked on this movie and that it did so well that it was now going to get its own TV show. And that's what actually got me kind of like, oh. So when I heard What We Do in the Shadows was coming on, I think FX, I think it's FX. We decided to give it a shot and watch it. And man, I loved it right out the gate. Like such a good fucking show. But I didn't watch the movie till after maybe 2 seasons of the show. And the movie was good. Don't get me wrong. It was really good, but I had gotten so used to the TV show characters that it took me some time to get used to the movie characters.
Yeah.
It's a comedy. It's about vampires that have been in existence for hundreds and hundreds of years, and they still happen to manage to live like in the suburbs somewhere. And they're like, is it like that Office type humor that you like?
Yes. Oh, see, I'm not gonna like it.
Dude,
then
it is so good. See, my brother Eric, he doesn't care for The Office either, and he liked What We Do in the Shadows. Him and Selena liked it.
Okay, well, if Eric likes it, I'll try it.
It's good.
Gussie loves it.
Dude, it is amazing.
And he and I share. He uses my Hulu, and it's like that's all that's fucking on there because that's all he watches.
Dude, it's so great.
So vampires, you're on the vampire.
Yeah,
front.
yeah.
Okay,
Anything vampire related. I wish I could be a vampire and
Dude, right? I mean, who doesn't want to live forever?
Right, exactly.
Come on.
Yeah. So werewolves,
I think werewolves look cool. Yeah. But the story,
yeah. And then mummies, like, who wants to be like? I know they're all dead, but like, I don't know. It's not the same.
I agree, man. I was just thinking about it the other day because last night, as a matter of fact, because when you had called me, we had gone out to dinner, and the kids needed to finish up their Halloween costumes. So we went to Spirit and Party City.
Yeah.
I bought this really sweet. Spirit has these old school style masks. And I bought a vampire one just because it looked cool. I just wanted to hang it up.
Yeah.
So I was like, I've never asked them.
Yeah.
Mommy, you know what I mean?
Well, we actually went to a haunted house at Universal that's like a classic horror. So it has a mix of all those things, like the old school vampire, the old school werewolf, mummy. It wasn't the best of all the haunted houses, but it's one of those. It's like, oh, I got to go to that one.
I heard. Well, I didn't hear. My wife told me yesterday. So here in El Paso's big Christmas people, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Downtown, we have the Winterfest, but I'm just gonna explain it for people who don't live here. There's this little community. Every year they decorate for Christmas. From what I heard, I'm sure it's not true, but they're a part of an HOA, and it's like in your contract. If you buy a house in this community, or what do you want, neighborhood, you have to decorate for Christmas. I don't understand. I don't think it's true.
I wouldn't be surprised. Is it the Edgewood?
Wedgwood.
Yeah, what are they called? I forget.
Yeah,
I
you know
mean,
the one by the mall.
I want an HOA like that,
dude. I want to live in that fucking neighborhood.
Dude, I've always wanted to live in that neighborhood.
Dude, we just become best friends. Dina and I fight about that all the time. I've told her, I swear to God, I want to retire in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
If I could buy a house tomorrow here, I want to.
Well, I guess that's where we're gonna live, Adrian.
Dude, I love how the fucking cards just always fall.
Yeah, I've always wanted to also, because it's like, okay, like my house, I go all out. Yeah. This year, I'm actually really haven't gone all out for Halloween.
But you know what? The stuff you have is big enough to where like it covers that.
Yeah.
You know, your projector thing. Now you got the Lord Raven.
You know what's ruined it for me though is it's been like very windy and very rainy.
Oh yeah.
And so dude, it's hard to put certain things out.
You are preaching in the choir, sister. I have a huge Halloween display of haunted houses and blow ups and pumpkins, and dude, I swear to God, it was not windy for months.
Yeah.
I decorated the next fucking day.
Yeah.
Literally, I swear on everything holy.
Right.
It was fucking windy.
Yeah.
I looked outside and
well, it's funny because we wanted to put our cemetery out.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get the stakes into the ground because it was so dry.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so I started putting the sprinklers on to soften up the ground, and then it started just pouring rain nonstop, and then so it got like too muddy, I guess you could say. Well, not really muddy, but you know what I mean. And then the wind came in, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna hold off. And then I went out of town, and I just haven't done it now.
It's not too late. Last night when we got home, I bought this LED bat thing that looks like it's flying.
Mm-hmm.
I barely put it up last night.
Yeah.
But what I was getting at is, so here in El Paso, there's that little neighborhood. That whole neighborhood goes crazy for Christmas.
East Ridge.
That's East Ridge. There you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's beautiful. We go every year, ever since the kids were babies.
Yeah.
We go buy hot chocolate, whatever the fuck they want, and we just drive around. Anyway, my wife told me yesterday that they're now, or maybe they're doing Halloween.
What?
Yeah. I'm going to go check it out.
Holy crap.
It better not fucking be a dud.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because you look at dude, honestly, you turn the corner on my street, you can see my house from down the way because the house lights up purple. Like, we go fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Even the neighbors that have real little kids, they always tell me, thank God, man, because this kid's been bugging me.
Yeah.
They like wait for my house to be decorated.
Yeah, that's what our neighbors were like. We wait every year. We can't wait to come see your house.
Yeah.
But what sucks, dude, well, actually, I got to say, it's gotten a little bit better. So my house is not on anybody's way. Like, you have to go out of your way to get to my house.
Yeah, you do.
The way it's situated.
It's like tucked in a neighborhood.
Yeah, and so my neighborhood, it's a beautiful neighborhood. It's nice and quiet, but too quiet, and it's like a lot of retired people.
Real quick, it's a very nice quiet. When I told you, I wait in the garage for the dogs to do their business.
Yeah,
but the other day I just stood outside. I even waved to your cute little neighbor next door. Some other dude, I waved at him. The lady across the way waved at me. But I'm just standing there and I'm like, man, this is fucking creepy quiet.
Yeah.
Like a cold winter night.
Yeah.
Quiet.
Exactly.
It's fucking awesome.
It's cool, but at the same time, what happens is the first couple of years, we were the only ones to decorate.
Yeah.
Like, because nobody sees the point. This year, however, there are some people and they've gone all out.
Yeah.
And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I like to think that
you don't like to toot your own horn? Stop it.
maybe seeing us decorate got them like thinking
inspired.
like, oh, maybe we should do it too.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel the same. My neighbor across the street, as a matter of fact, his name is Willie. The first year we our house was built and we moved in.
Mm-hmm.
I think we moved in like July or some shit. Anyway, yeah, the first Halloween, boom, we fucking went out. And my house is white with like gray. I had known I'm going to make this motherfucker glow purple, right off the bat. I knew it. Anyway, so the first year they came over and they're like, man, your house looks great, blah blah blah. The next year he's like, yeah man, I had to fucking start decorating because of you. My kids are like, Dad, look at that house, we got it. I mean, his isn't as extravagant as mine,
right?
But he told me, because of you I had to start decorating.
I mean, you should. It's fun. I don't know.
I did it because I started doing it because of the kids, right? They love Halloween, but now it's just turned into an obsession for me.
I mean, my family, you know, my family,
the saddest story on earth.
my family has always gone all out with decorating.
Yeah. Especially your mom.
Yeah. They just they never have a theme, and that's what bothers me. Is I have so much to put out, and sometimes I feel like I want to keep it a theme, you know.
We had this conversation on our last podcast, and I say, fuck it, put it out.
Yeah, put it all out.
Just
and
put it out.
Yeah, you just love it when I put out.
Oh man, again, we would not have made it this far.
But yeah, no, I mean, I haven't gone all out as much as before, but I mean, I've decorated.
Yeah, hey, man. Anything is anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I got to go check out that neighborhood you were saying.
Yeah, I want to also. I had no idea. She barely told me about it yesterday.
When we first decorated, and I think I mentioned this on the last podcast, we were like, because of what happened in my house with the dude killing himself, right? Mm-hmm. We were like, fuck, what are the neighbors going to think of us? You know what I mean? And so one of the neighbors, when I met him, he came out. I happened to be out looking at like one of my displays, and he was like, hey, and he introduced himself, and I was like, I hope you don't think we're weird. He's like, no, I love it. This is great. I was like, yeah, it's just, you know, with everything that happened, you know, it's like, and then us coming in here and like there's freaking like death everywhere for Halloween. Yeah,
those ghosts that you have in your projector. He's like, are those real ones, or did you just make that?
Exactly. But no, apparently everybody loves it. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. So before we get into ghost stories, we still have to do our challenge and the shat.
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you want to start with?
Let's do our challenge first, because we didn't do a challenge last week.
No, we skipped it because we needed a break. You were going out of town. You didn't want to be forced to listen to my bullshit.
Yep. Wow, somebody started blasting their music. That was just really loud.
I know.
So yeah, let's do the challenge.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
You go first this time.
So I chose a good one. I feel. I noticed the other day, because we do go back and listen to our own podcasts, right? Not for entertainment value, but we always try to see what we can do better next time, right?
Exactly.
So, and I keep saying a lot, because it's true. I love shoegaze music.
Right.
Love it. And I know you like it. I just don't know to what extent.
Oh, right? I love it, but I've never, like, tell me to name a band that's shoegaze.
Exactly.
No,
exactly. So now, though shoegaze was around before this band, they just happen to be one of my favorite, which they are in the shoegaze category for the most part, but they do venture out of that and go into, you know, like regular alternative music. And they're one of my favorite bands of all time. Again, lead singer is a girl. The guitar player is a girl, but they have a male bassist and drummer. Anyway, I wanted to challenge you to listen to the band Lush. I know you've heard them.
Yeah.
But you haven't heard. I
couldn't. Like, if you put a song on right now, I would not know it was them.
Yeah. They're one of my favorite bands of all time, especially in the shoegaze category.
How many albums do they have?
Oh, fuck, dude. I don't even know. There's a few. It's not a short list. There's a few. I would tell you what my favorite albums are, but I don't want you to go into it.
Yeah.
Wanting to go that route. But yeah, I absolutely love them. They're fucking a phenomenal band.
Yeah, you've always loved them.
Yeah.
So all of their albums are in the 90s?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they quit pretty
well, they have one single in 2016.
Yeah. But
everything else is in the 90s.
Yeah, full-on albums. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. They're amazing. I absolutely love them. Like I said, very shoegazy. Well, like I said, you know, there's bands prior to. They didn't create the shoegaze movement, but
right.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite bands of all time. And I was just curious as to what you would think
Sorry, I was looking at. I was adding them. I was following them, but then I went to my YouTube. Dude, doesn't it suck? Sorry that they're taking away our views from us. Anyways, we were talking about that last night.
Yeah, it happened to me again last night.
It happened to me right now.
This motherfucker. You know, people are just
They're
hating.
taking away. So just real quick, we're not going to harp on this, but
You're
YouTube
actually going to make me harp on it right there.
YouTube, we noticed, is taking our views away from us and our likes, which is part of the algorithm to get more views and likes. And of course, you know, what people don't understand, it's not about for us. It's about, a lot of it is about marketing. It's about monetization, being able to make money, extra money, even if it's side hustle. So when you know, you're trying to make extra money off of something like that,
it's
and
hard.
they're doing really shady shit like that, it sucks.
You want to know what will make your channel take off? And look, just
With me without a shirt,
but better.
Uh-huh.
You just need to bring back the talent, man. And both of us without a shirt. You want it to take off? Fine, I'll do it. I'll come back.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, it just chaps my ass. Okay, so Lush.
Let me see your screen. I always love your screens.
Oh. Lush.
I love that, man. That's like, you always pick the best ones. Dude, years ago, you had this computer. I'm sure you still have it because you fucking hoard your electronics.
Yeah, I do.
It was a picture of deep black clouds, right? They were fucking pitch black, but it looked like it was about to be a crazy thunder lightning storm. But the forefront was beautiful grass with like these red plants or trees or something. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that.
I'm very, I don't know, I always take my time to find the right thing.
Look how gay mine is. I don't mean gay in the sense, but every year. Halloween, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
I'll explain
I like
the
that.
369 later.
I always try to get a feel for the seasons.
Yeah. Well, it's
what I always go
Halloween
for.
season.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lush is your challenge. So I didn't feel like torturing you today. So
I feel bad because I know Halloween season is upon us, and I don't want to give you anything that's going to be like, make the season less enjoyable for you.
Well, it gets worse than M83?
M83? You liked M83.
I mean, MGMT?
I've decided to just go with a band that, if it weren't for this band, I would not exist. In terms of like,
I think I've been waiting for this.
In terms of I would exist, but I would not exist in the, what's the word, creativity that I have, the realm of like how I'm able to produce certain types of music.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you my second idol, but probably favorite idol that I ever had growing up as a kid, Pantera.
Oh, I've been waiting for it. All right, cool.
Dimebag Darrell was like,
yeah.
So, you know, I was a Metallica kid, right? Since like I was like 5 years old, and then I first heard, I was in 7th grade, I believe. I first heard Pantera.
Yeah,
and it was Far Beyond Driven.
Right, and that's the album. See, just for people who need to know, I am not oblivious to Pantera. I actually like Pantera a lot.
Yeah.
Far Beyond Driven is the only album that I've ever heard in its entirety.
Right.
Other than that, it's just been like their singles or whatever.
Yeah.
So I like Pantera. I don't dislike them, but I haven't had a deep dive into
like
them.
Sat down and really listened.
and I've always wanted to, but if I'm not forced to do something, I just kind of like, my mind drifts.
Right.
So cool. Honestly, this band and one other band I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
So
cool. Yeah, I mean, you know, that was a huge influence on me, because when I first heard the very first song, Strength Beyond Strength, I believe, the first song on Far Beyond Driven, I had never heard anything that heavy before. And I was just like, my ears opened up and my eyes lit up. I was just like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And so I ended up, you know, I went back and started listening to their earlier albums and stuff. And of course, Dimebag, you know, like, he's just, his ability to riff, still to this day, I don't think anybody can compare to his riffs.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a firm believer, and you know this, to me, one of the most I think that's why I really just despise a lot of the new metal stuff, is because they rely on these like cheesy chord progressions, rather than like just a really good riff.
Right. Other than the Deftones.
No, you know what? Deftones, like Stephen Carpenter does a good job on doing riffs. Yeah. Even the stuff that I don't like, I'll listen to it and I'll be like, oh, that's a cool little riff.
And it's funny you say that. That's part of my, I don't want to call it an argument, but when you and I are discussing Texas Cutthroat stuff and you hit me with the John, I'm like, it's because I know you're a riffer.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
but you got to have dynamic too.
I understand that, but it's like, I don't know, man. You're such a good riffer. Like, that's what I love about your playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, every song I write, like Texas Cutthroat, always starts off with a cool riff.
Yeah.
And then I write around that riff. So, you know, when I think about, any of the songs that I've written for Texas Cutthroat, you know, those components that you're talking about are usually built around
the riff,
the main riff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just to give a dynamic, you know what I mean?
One of my favorite guitar parts you've ever written, it was me, you, and a friend of ours, Dre. We started this little side project that what I called, because we never had an official name for it, Letters from Earth.
Mm-hmm.
We wrote 3 songs, amazing songs. I will add.
I have not heard those songs in years.
A year ago, I sent you. I found the CD.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did I listen to it? I don't even know if I listened to it.
I didn't send you the CD, but I sent you a video of me listening to it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Uh-huh.
And there was this one song. I don't know the names. Again, there was only 3 songs, and your part went. So with that, with my bass line and the drums, we both wrote the drums, but you played it. I said, "Hey, play this because this is what it should sound like."
Yeah, yeah.
And dude, that's one of my favorite riffs you've ever fucking written.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to hear that again.
I'll bring it to you. Just remind me.
You know what my favorite guitar riff, and people that are listening, unless you're like...
White Lie.
No, actually, I love that riff. I love that riff. But my favorite guitar riff that I've written was House of Cancer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was listening to that the other day because, again, my brother was in town, and he's always been a big fan of anything I've done, right? Mm-hmm. So he has this thing about trying to collect all of our old shit, but I got rid of a lot of it. Anyway, I showed him the website that Rudy created, and as soon as I showed him, he was like, "Dude, fucking play it." And he actually has never heard the Muse the Martyr.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was at a time where I don't remember why he hadn't heard it, but we were listening to it while we were driving around with my mom, or back and forth from my mom, and he was like, and I explained the story. I said, this album was going to get us fucking signed for sure. We were angry, blah, 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 but our singer quit. I said, this would have been the album or the EP.
Yeah.
And I played it, and he looked at me and he's like, dude.
Yeah.
For sure.
I cringe when I hear the production of it. I did not do a good job.
Well, it's because, dude, I didn't explain myself well enough. Because you had told me after the album came out, I'm never listening to you again. And I told you, I said, no, I wanted you to turn up the bass.
Okay, so wait, let me talk. So Adrian is always telling me, whenever I've produced any of our stuff, more bass.
I can't hear
more
the bass.
bass. And so I, for a long time, thought he wanted me to raise the levels of the bass.
The frequency, the bass frequency.
Yeah, I didn't know he was talking about the frequency. So here I am raising the levels. I'm like, man, this motherfucker just wants to shine. And so I'm like, dude, it's fucking loud. So the bass on that EP was just ridiculous.
But it was real bassy and loud.
Yeah.
And I told you, I said, no, man, I just wanted you to turn up the volume a bit.
So if I could get back into the computer that has those raw files, dude, I would totally remix those. Because it was a good album. I think those songs were really well written.
Dude.
Even though our singer at the time was singing about quitting the band.
Yeah, we just didn't know it.
Had no idea.
Yeah.
But
I didn't know our house was cancer.
What was the other one? Was it Lost? No. What was it? I don't remember the name of the song.
Famous Last Words. Circa something 06.
I don't even
like
know.
That.
Whatever.
Please, I'm only an actor.
But I just during that time period, yeah. I mean, it was like we were angry. We were angry 20-year-olds.
Well, no, we were angry for a specific reason, though. We were on the verge. We had done a few label showcases. Mm-hmm. We had Steve Kravac in our corner, and the fact that labels did not want us made us mad. The fact that Steve tried to change our sound made us mad.
But we were also on the cusp of, even with all that, we were on the cusp of something big happening.
Yes.
And then our little singer decides to say, I quit.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to Austin and make myself a rock star.
And
he became a teacher. I mean, I don't want to talk shit. But it is what it is. But he knows, even though him and I still talk and we hang out every once in a while. And you know, we have a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, he still has my number, but I don't. Crickets. But people want to wait for me to do it.
Yeah.
You fucking miss me, tell somebody.
I mean, we almost revived shit. But
let me tell
whatever.
You, I went back and I listened to that song without the vocals. And I'm so mad that you don't want to use that song. Dude, we fucking nailed that song.
I don't know, Adrian.
Oh God, I want to know who
For
said
anybody knows what song he's talking about. It's actually the song that's played at the very end of our podcast episodes.
Yeah.
Well, at least that's a little snippet of it.
All right, we're going off tangent here, man. We can air our grievances
we can keep
later.
going and then just turn this to a 2-part episode. But yeah, let's get back to the Halloween stuff.
Okay, so Pantera for me, Lush for you. You want to bust out that chat real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
And today on the chat, today I bring to you a band that I found the other day. And I know you've been trying to make it a point to listen to my chats. I don't know if you listened to Shawnee Kish the last time I...
Oh, yeah. That was interesting.
Good, right?
Yeah, it was really good. All I can say, I did listen to a couple of songs. All I can say is that it was not what I was expecting, in a good way.
Yeah.
I can't remember now.
She has an amazing voice.
Yeah. The voice was
amazing.
Voice. Yeah.
So this band for sure, I want you to check out. And don't roll your eyes. I have to explain. And there's a word you're not gonna like.
Oh God.
Anyway, so the band goes by the name of Bleed. BLEED.
How does somebody get such a simple name like that nobody else has?
I don't know.
Figured there'd be a bunch of bands with that same name.
I know, but they're amazing. So far in 2021, they put out a small EP, 4 songs. This year, they have one single called Killing Time. So
Killing Time.
It's closing time. So while listening to this band, I had already fallen in love. There's elements of shoegaze. There's elements of hum. There is a good, not the kind that you're thinking, dare I say, new metal, right? That late...
I knew that was going to come.
No. I promise you, it's not the kind you're thinking. Think Helmet. Honestly, the style of writing really reminds me a lot of what Scott from Super Soul would write. You know, very late 90s, early 2000s type, but like that underground, not like Limp Bizkit, Deftones type. I can't explain it, but there's you can hear the hum in them. Hum, for people who don't know, is another world's greatest band. So listening to them, I'm like, man, this is fucking amazing. Like, it floored me. I can't stop listening to it. I haven't felt like this in Spirit Box, and I'm pissed that they only have 5 or 6 songs. So I'm listening. There's this other band that I used to love along the same style called Narrowhead. They haven't put out anything in a long time. Turns out one of the members from Narrowhead is in this band, so it made fucking perfect sense that I love them. I'm really curious what you think about them. They're on Spotify. They only have 48,000 listeners, which is fucking crazy to me. They should have millions. But yeah, for the chat today, band called Bleed.
I'll check it out.
If you're into hum, shoegaze.
I love it when you hum on my shit.
Again, we would not have made it this far had I done.
Every time I hear the word hum, I think of I think it's NWA song where the girl says something about cupping the balls and humming. I don't know why I always think of that.
Every time you hear the word hum, that's what you think.
Yes, I swear to God.
Get your mind out of the gutter, man.
I like it in the gutter. But anyways.
And I'm real curious. I don't know if Justin still listens to us.
Justin.
Or if
Justin Bieber?
If he's still taking a really count on us. But I'm curious to what Justin's going to think about this band.
He's probably already heard it. You guys go back and forth all the time.
Yeah, but who's the master?
I kind of hate that. Sucks. Because I get excited about a band and I'm like, why am I going to even bother sending it to him? He's already heard them since like 10 years ago.
Hey, man.
Cool. All right. So the bleed.
Yeah.
All right. Should we get into the stuff or do you think do we have time?
Yeah. I think we do.
We can make it a 2-part, man. It's completely up to you.
That's fine. That's fine with me.
All right. So, do you want me to get into the latest?
Yeah, because last time we kind of stopped on before we got to we left our.
Where did we end? We ended on. Shit got real. I know recently, but
yeah, we said we were going to save the actual events in your house.
So I remember last October, actually, in an unfortunate way, really. I remember October of last year very well when we did our Halloween episodes, and that's because that was the month that my dad got diagnosed with cancer. Just a little backstory, I brought my dad in with me almost a year prior to that because he got sick with his, he lost his leg and stuff like that. So I brought him in, and then unfortunately my mom passed away in August, and then October my dad was diagnosed with cancer. And so I remember kind of that month very well, and that's when we were already living in my house, and we were talking about Mr. Patrick, who we found out after the fact that we moved into the house that he committed suicide in the house. We even have pictures of when we had the carpet removed, his residue of
yeah, there's even some on the window.
Yeah, some
high
showed up
on the wall.
On the wall, yeah. So, after that, we continued to experience, the same old shit, dogs barking, looking at nothing and growling, and doors slamming, closing, things falling off shelves. He threw Palo Santos at us. Not threw it at us, but kind of like dropped it in front of us when me and my wife happened to be talking about what we should be doing with the Palo Santo, because we were like, should we do this? So we even spoke to, actually after that, we even spoke to the Ghost Hunters organization. They're actually connected to the actual Ghost Hunters that have the TV show.
Yeah.
And they were interested in doing an investigation, and even were offered us to do like a cleansing for us. I'll get into kind of what pushed that right now in a bit, but it was just because of all this stuff that was just going on a regular basis. Even my dad, he would always tell me of the stuff that he was hearing, stuff that he was seeing
in his room.
Yeah.
Upstairs. Yeah.
Something really interesting that my dad actually mentioned to me. So my dad was a very independent person, and even though he knew that my intentions taking him in was to help him, he hated the idea of, like, he felt like when I move in with you, I'm gonna love it because I'm gonna be with you, but he felt like he was gonna lose a sense of independence.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like, well, dude, like, it's kind of the name of the game sometimes. Sometimes it's not that you're going to lose independence, it's just you're going to have extra help, is the way I saw it.
Yeah.
But I remember, and I don't know if this ties, I think it does tie directly into, in my opinion, it does tie into what ended up happening later on. The night before he moved in with us, he told me he had never seen ghosts. He never believed in any of that stuff before. I guess he did believe in it, but not enough to be like, yeah, I've experienced it. He was.
Yeah.
But the night before, we moved him in. He said that he was lying asleep, and that at his door appeared a black shadow. And have I told you this story?
I think so, but every time I hear Black Shadow, I get scared.
So if you go back and listen to when Eric was on this episode on this show, he talks a lot about a black shadow, and
it's not me.
It's its connection to Eric, and so go back and listen to those episodes, if you to kind of catch up on all this craziness.
Yeah.
But he told me that at first he thought it was the security guard in his apartment complex, and that he tried talking to him, and he was like,
he did tell me this, yeah.
He was like, hey, like whatever his name was, like, what's going on? What do you need? Like, what are you doing here? And that like a bright light appeared behind him. So it was like a shadow with like a bright light behind him. And so he says, I don't know, but then it kind of changed, and I kind of like, it kind of gave me this feeling that it was one of his best friends, like that he had years ago that had passed away. And then I remember asking him, like, how long was he there for? And he was like, and I thought he was gonna say, oh, like 30 seconds, a minute. No, he was like, for like 15 minutes. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah. And I go, well, what did you do? He goes, I was so terrified, I didn't know what to do. And my dad does not get scared at all. Right?
What the fuck?
He just said that he just sat there and just tried talking to it, and it wouldn't respond, and it was just there, like looking at him. And he was like, he said he was scared, but at the same time felt kind of comforted in a weird, it was just like a weird contradiction of emotions that he was feeling. But then it just disappeared. And so when he would talk about it, he would even kind of get a little bit emotional about it. Again, not like my dad at all. But that kind of made him start to believe. So when we got into my house, my dad was very clear to always say, like, man, like something is here. Like,
really?
Yeah, always. He was always talking about the knocking on his door, just like the movement within his room.
Real quick, why do you think ghosts do that? What do you want us to do?
Well,
with
it's
that?
not necessarily knocking like, hey, can I come in? It's like more like knocking like bumps, like just things being hit, or like a.
But I mean, you hear stories of like, why? What do you?
I mean, in my opinion, from my experiences, I never really heard knocking. It was more like bumps in the night and rustling and just direct, like, I don't know. I feel that. Where did I hear this from? I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about how some guy was explaining that it's a theory is that a demon or a dark presence, its whole objective is to torment somebody because it gains energy from that tormenting.
Oh, okay.
It almost like feeds off of it.
Off of fear.
Yeah, off of fear.
Okay.
Which could be totally outrageous or could be true. You know, you don't know. And so when I think about spirits, like not demonic or dark entities, I think they're trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
You know, they don't understand the same way we try to get their attention, right?
What's this we business?
Well, you know what I mean? Like ghost hunters and people and that do seances and shit like that. You're trying to get their attention, right?
Yeah.
But perhaps they're in a different realm, and perhaps I've always thought, like, what if we're the ghosts and they're trying to get our attention? You know what I'm saying?
Where did I hear that from? It was a Will Ferrell movie, wasn't it? When he's like, but what if we're just the pictures of...
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, there's also, I've read theories of like, ghosts are really only like it's where parallel universes or time happens to like cross accidentally, and what you're actually seeing is you're actually getting a glimpse into it, like a parallel universe that happens to be crossing paths at the moment.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean? Like, so for example, let's say that we're on a loop and we don't even know it.
It feels like we are.
You know, there could be other loops that exist. People are living their lives in the past, right? Like, or don't realize they're dead or whatever, right? And like, we don't know. I mean, for all we know, this is a big simulation, right? And somehow, sometimes those dimensions, realms, whatever, blur lines and cross, and you get a slight glimpse into it. We don't know. But you hear something?
Yeah. Is it your feet?
Oh, no, I didn't do anything. So, yeah.
I gotta go.
I always hear, there's always all these theories, right? We don't know. We just kind of take what's happening and kind of, like, that's why I talk about what, the experiences that we've had with our house and Patrick and everything that happened with Eric. It's not like, it's nothing other than like, oh, wow, did that just happen? Yeah. Like, I can't explain it. So anyway, going back to what we were talking about, my dad moved in, he kept hearing stuff. He really didn't say much about seeing stuff. He was just like hearing stuff. He would say that it was obvious, like there was something there, which is again stuff he never ever said before. Even going back to the Beachcomber house, the stuff with Eric, he had a hard time wrapping his head around what was going on. I think I mentioned it. There was a moment where my dad showed up with holy water, and he tried blessing the house, and I said, "Oh, Dad, all you did is pissed him off." And he was like, "No, I didn't." And right before he was going to walk out, all these doors closed at the same time. Did I talk about that?
Yeah.
And he was just like, "All right, I'm out of here." But other than that, he never really said much, talked about it much until the night before he moved in with me. And so I'm trying to think of some of the stuff that happened.
Dude, the shower stuff is what fucking scares me.
The shower turning on in the middle of the night. That happened almost every single night.
Like the dead middle of the night.
Yeah, every night. And I'll get into why it stopped. Every single night, almost about 2-3 o'clock in the morning, the shower turns on. Pushing on the door, like you always hear like just like pressure on the door. Like,
see, the funny thing is my wife's a sciencey person, right? Mm-hmm. Not religious, doesn't believe in ghosts. Like, she's real straightforward. And I was telling her about the shower thing, and she kept trying to come up with all these theories, and I'm like, dude, you need to stop.
Yeah.
How does physics or science make this fucking thing literally go? Whoop?
And that shower is very difficult to turn too, because it's an old.
Yeah.
We haven't replaced the actual.
This house was built in what, the 90s, right?
80s.
Oh, okay.
And so, but yeah, the shower thing. What else?
So just
I don't know if we talked about the thing with Eric or
paint that picture real quick though. You're asleep.
Oh,
fucking
dude,
sound asleep.
It got to the point where it was like, again, because it just happened so frequently.
Yeah, but you're asleep, and all of a sudden you just hear the shower running.
On.
Right?
Yeah, all the time.
There was something else you had mentioned about. I don't know if you were having one of your sleep paralysis things, but did we talk about that one already?
Well, we talked about how I think we talked about how ever since the stuff with Eric, I get sleep paralysis a couple times a month, and then it turned into like maybe every couple months to 3 months. I think we talked about it.
One time in particular, you said like you had saw something hovering above you, or...
Oh, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. It's happened to me so many times.
Yeah.
But I'll get into that right now also. So again, if you haven't listened to those episodes, it'll fill in a lot of the information there. I get sleep ever since that shit happened with Eric. I get sleep paralysis on a regular basis, and I'm always being attacked by something, and it's always that thing that he conjured up, and or at least that's the feeling I always get when I'm getting sleep paralysis. And
but if we're sleeping together, you know it's me trying to.
yeah, it's like, Adrian. Oh, Adrian. So I mean, it was just became the typical stuff. I mean, our drummer of Tragic Landing, Eric, experienced while we were recording drums one day. He said that he could see stuff, he could feel stuff in the room, and he's never experienced anything like that before. While he was playing drums, like the cymbals started crashing, like, and he at one point he was like, "Just so you know, that's not me," like, you know.
Yeah.
But he said exactly what I always said, was like, I could tell something was there. I could feel it. It was obvious, but I didn't feel threatened by it. And that's the way I always felt with Patrick, right? And so everybody that we spoke to that understands paranormal would tell us the same thing, like he's trying to get your attention. I even have a friend who would tell me like he probably doesn't even know he's dead. You know, so we just kind of managed. We kind of were like always hoping to do the cleansing. The reason the ghost hunters thing didn't happen is I think that's when the pandemic picked up again, even though we were already in 2021. Like it kind of picked up, and people like, it wasn't lockdown status, but you know, like people were afraid to go in other people's houses, so it just never came to fruition. But then you know, my dad started to get sicker and sicker. This one night, so this is where it gets weird. Okay, so this one night I had my episode of sleep paralysis, but this was very different. Okay, if you've never had sleep paralysis, it's a very profound experience.
It's the fucking worst.
And yeah, it's especially mine. Again, just to kind of go back, you know, my brother kind of conjured up this thing, and I've always had the sleep paralysis where this thing would just manage to attack me during my sleep paralysis. It would literally just pick me up and throw me against the wall. I could never see it. It was always just an invisible presence, and it would just do all kinds of shit to me, and I would wake up terrified every single time. Like, after, I mean, when you're in it, you feel like you're in it for sometimes like days, weeks.
It feels like, it doesn't happen to me as often as it does you, but it does happen. In the past 2 times, it's happened twice, maybe in the past 4 years, right? Mm-hmm. Both times, do you know what that person on the other side was? The fucking devil. Literally.
That's right. You told me about that. That's right.
Yeah, literally both times it was the devil.
Fuck, man. Eric, you need to stop appearing in Jason. I mean, sorry, I called you Jason.
Fuck Jason. How dare you, man? Yeah, I'm going home. 1, because I heard that noise right now. 2, you just insulted a brother. I'm out.
I reckon the devil, a.k.a., or he's actually the devil's son.
Yeah.
So
little son.
So I had this night. I went to sleep, and all of a sudden, this one was like super profound, super like I can't even tell you how much this like affected me. All I remember was I was walking in a dark place. It was so dark I couldn't even tell where I was, but I knew I was in like a house. To kind of jump to it, I realized later on that I was actually in my home. Okay, so this moment of sleep paralysis, I wasn't getting attacked. I was literally just kind of roaming in this darkness. There was, you know what? Actually, fuck, I think I wrote this down. Now that I think about it, I remember waking up, and after I had written this down, hold on, let's see, I'm gonna put Patrick's name. Hold on. Dream? It wouldn't be a dream. It was like a nightmare. Shit. Because I know there was some really interesting details. Fuck. Can't seem to find it.
I know you read it to me.
Yeah. Dang it. This would get really, really cool if I can find it.
Don't worry, people. We're going to have suspenseful music.
Oh, no, here it is. Oh, shit. This is pretty long. Should I just read it?
It's pretty long. I love them long.
Yeah, you do. All right. I woke up at 3:11 a.m. I couldn't breathe.
And I couldn't breathe.
Hold on. I'm kind of reading through it. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. What the fuck? This is different than I remember. Hold on. Sorry for the dead air here.
We're going to have suspenseful music for all this dead air.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so me and actually we're leaving talking, and then we were in our house with family. Started. Okay, I remembered. Okay, Patrick, I guess, was opening and closing a cabinet on cue.
Tony Q?
Suddenly, the cabinet door flung open, and there was an appliance of some sort that was really hot. I noticed it was directly connected to the wall, and as it fell out, it started to flame. I caught it and yanked it out of the wall, burning myself. I noticed ashes, including cigarette ashes, inside. Suddenly, I looked at the wall, and I'm assuming it was Patrick, appeared upside down. We locked eyes, and I became him. The room went completely dark, and no one was there. I was seeing, hearing things, and felt as though I was transforming between him and 3 or 4 individuals. Not sure who they were, but suddenly I was trying to escape this dark, abandoned, and lonely house, and just couldn't. I woke up in my dream and was still there. I kept running, and that's when I realized I was still dreaming. Began to yell for help, which I always do when I have sleep paralysis. And finally, Daniela woke me up. I felt compelled to help Patrick out. I had the feeling that he was showing me what he sees, which is like a purgatory of some sort, a dark, empty home with no escape. I felt as though he senses us at times, but doesn't really know we're there, almost as if we're the ghost to his darkened home. But he reached out with all the energy he had to ask for help because he's desperate. And then I put, I need to help him. Bear in mind, I wrote that immediately.
As soon as you woke up.
As soon as I woke up. I had forgotten some of those details, but I remembered just being overwhelmed with this feeling of like he was trying to show me, like, this is what I'm going through.
Yeah.
It reminded me of this video game I used to play called PT. It was a really crazy game where you're just literally walking around that same house over and over and over, and every time you walk around, just weird, crazy shit happens. Anyways.
That's what I imagine, like, it's got to suck to be stuck somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As much as I'm a homebody, you got to get out every now and again.
Yeah. And so, you know, I've there's a YouTuber that I follow. He does the spirit box stuff. Huff Paranormal.
Oh yeah, you showed me those videos.
You know, whether you believe or not, again, if you don't believe, this can be just like entertainment for you. If you believe, you know, cool. Anyways, the only reason I believe is because of my experiences that I've had.
Yeah.
You know, you can't help but not, you know, believe in some of this shit. So anyways, he talks about where he's a medium that can connect directly to, you know, spirits and stuff, and he created what's called a spirit box that he claims he can actually communicate verbally with spirits. So what he said one time that always stuck with me is he was talking about how there's a window of time when you pass away that you are first you're kind of stuck here, almost like a period of reminiscing of like your life and stuff, and then there's a window that opens up where you are supposed to, quote, go to the light. If you miss that window, and a lot of people do because there's something that they just can't let go of here in you know, on this planet, then they get stuck. And when they're stuck in, like, it's like, I guess, a purgatory, like an in-between. So for example, you know, you love me, right?
More than life itself.
So let's say you pass away and you're like, I can't leave Paul.
Yeah. Even though you'd leave me in a blink of an eye.
I'd be like, can I go now?
Where's the light? Am I supposed to wait for it, or
I'm here. Right. So yeah, you know, he explains that sometimes people have something that just keeps them from wanting to cross over, and when they don't cross over, that's what makes them almost like a permanent presence or spirit. And yeah, it could be.
And that's crazy.
Unending.
That's crazy because he had kids, no? Or
he had one kid, yeah.
See, to me, it's like that would be. You know me, I am petrified.
But he killed himself.
Ooh,
that means you wanted to go.
Damn it, Patrick! You see what you did to yourself?
But at the same time, I also read somewhere that people that kill themselves, sometimes, even though they want to kill themselves and they know they're going to do it, sometimes it's like that split second of like hesitation, but sometimes it's just too late.
Oh yeah,
you know,
that I can absolutely see that. And you know me, dude, I am fucking petrified. I think about it daily. I am fucking scared of death. Big time. Like, I am afraid to die.
I think a lot of people are. I think that's a big thing, right? Like, I am, but I'm not. I vacillate back and forth. You know, I guess also like experiencing both my parents pass, you know, like kind of really is pivotal and makes you think different things, you know. Sometimes I'm brave about it and like, oh, like, yeah, bring it on. And sometimes I'm like, no, like, you know what I mean? You want to hold on.
Yeah.
But so anyways, that's what Huff says. So what I gathered from this dream was that he's trapped for whatever reason and he needs to go. And it was again, I've used this word 3 times, I'm using it again, profound. That's the only way to describe it. It was just an experience where I just couldn't deny it. You know, I felt compelled to do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got time?
My mom's just texting me.
Oh, okay.
I have to go see her right now. But yeah, we got a little bit of time.
So, that really kind of like changed things in terms of like, okay, like we've got to do something for him, but what do we do? Things continued happening, but then I got really preoccupied with my dad being sick, right? I'm just going to kind of fast forward to towards the end before my dad passed. So probably the last 2 or 3 months, my dad went into a weird, how can I say it? He started seeing things. The world around him became very different.
Yeah, he told me about that.
He started saying, first he started saying that he was seeing people were visiting him.
Yeah.
Kids. He kept talking about a black figure that he kept seeing in the doorway. But then when we would go out driving and, you know, doing what we needed to do, he would talk about how the world didn't seem real anymore, and it was becoming a world that he didn't know, and it was confusing to him. And when I would ask him to kind of describe it, he was like, it's like everything is hologram, what he would say. He was like, everything just seems like it's a hologram, like nothing's real, like none of this is real. And on top of that, he would talk a lot about being visited by, he even talked about my mom visiting him. One time I would just be standing next to him and he would giggle and he was like, your mom's right next to you. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, she's right there. And yeah, just weird stuff, like kids always visiting him, people he didn't recognize, people he did recognize. He talked about like a profound dream that he had where or not a dream, this is what he told me. He says, I don't know if it was a dream or if it really happened, because all I know is it was in the middle of the night and I was half asleep. He said a girl that he hadn't thought about in decades, from high school, came and hung out with him. He said it felt like we were together for days. He goes, I hadn't thought about this girl in forever, and all of a sudden here she was. And he was like, and then when he kind of thought about it later, he was like, oh yeah, she died a long time ago.
What?
Yeah. He said that it was almost like he went on a date with her. He was like, it was just such a beautiful moment that I shared with her. It was like we were just talking. She was talking about life after death and how it's nothing to fear, and how, you know, eventually his time's coming, and that not to worry about it, that she's going to be a part of who helps him transition into the next life, and this and this. And he said it was just like this beautiful moment that he had with this girl who passed away decades prior. And he was like, it was so real. He goes, but at the same time, I don't know, like, was it a dream? Did it really happen? Like, he couldn't wrap his head around it, you know? So he had a lot of things that he would mention, you know? So during this time, the activity in our house, fuck, man.
It got crazy.
It got bad.
You experienced something that fucking, I don't know if you want to talk about today or a different time, but
no, yeah. I mean, are we gonna do another episode before
Halloween?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're actually gonna do one on Halloween.
Oh, nice. Because maybe I'll save that for the end, because that one is pretty.
Oh, dude, that one fucked me up.
Yeah, fucked me up.
I forgot what you
told me. It still fucked me up to
you
think
told
about
me
it.
something. I don't remember if I remember, but I remember that night I couldn't fucking sleep because you scared me.
Yeah, it messed me up pretty bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so during that time, actually we could probably come close to ending here so we can continue. But just know that during this time, as my dad was, he's undergoing chemo, he's, you know, things started to get fucking wild. Like, pretty much almost to the level of like what we used to experience when we were younger, going through that shit with Eric. Like, it was just non-stop. It almost felt, the only way to describe it, at least for me personally, I don't know, my wife or whoever else can say the same, but for me personally, the only way to describe it is it almost felt like, you know, when you have a packed house for like Thanksgiving and there's just a lot of family and people there, and that's what it felt like. But it was just us. But it just felt like just the presence of a lot of things.
So not even
spirits,
just
whatever.
So you didn't feel just the two that you normally felt?
No, it was like a lot. And my dad, and I, you know, I was always with my dad, you know, and he was just always talking about, oh, I got to see so and so, and like it was weird. And it was like, you know, I'd be standing there and he'd be like, "Who's that? Who's what? Who's that guy behind you?" I don't know. And this is when he was still very coherent. It's not like he was at the point where he was ready to go. No, like, he's still very coherent at this point. And, you know, he's just seeing people talk, having conversations with people. And this was actually even started before he started saying that the world looked different. This is like, he was still actually pretty healthy. I mean, he got to a point where his cancer, he didn't go into remission, but his cancer was greatly reduced.
Oh, yeah.
Things were actually looking pretty good. You know, he was given 3 weeks to live, ended up living another 9 months.
Yeah.
But he was just, it was constant. You know, he was constantly, I guess the only way to say it is being visited, and you can feel that presence. You could feel it. Things would happen where it was very obvious that there was just shit going on. It was weird. It was just really, really, really weird time. It was almost kind of stressful, kind of like it would be like you have a Thanksgiving dinner and there's just like family everywhere, and it's just like, you know, I don't know. It's hard to describe. But where I'll get into next time is when things kind of turn, I think, a little dark, in my opinion.
Yeah, a little dark, a lot of dark.
But yeah, that I think that should take us to the next episode.
Yeah.
If I think of anything else that's happened in between that time. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that happened, but it was just too much to talk about. I mean, everything from like, again, banging on the doors opening, the shower turning on almost every single night, people hearing things, people hearing, I think, was this before? I don't know if it was during the time. I know Daniela heard somebody say, "Help me."
Oh,
she thought it was me.
I forgot about that one.
I'll get into also like when I finally had a conversation about this with my daughter, because I tried to keep all this from her. And when I actually had the conversation with her, what she said was just like, "What the fuck?" I'll get into that next time also. Just gotta remind me about that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, is there anything else that sticks out during that time that I mentioned?
No, dude. Like it's like you said, there was a point in time where you were telling me shit every day, and I
it was constant.
I probably told you I'm never going to your house like 40 fucking times.
Yeah, it was pretty constant. Yeah, I mean, it was weird. It was really weird, I guess, and it kind of even I didn't really say it out loud, but it gave the feeling that things were changing for my dad.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
it gave the feeling that okay, something's going on here, and I don't know how to feel about this or what to say or do or how to take it. You know,
it honestly does trip me out though. Like for real. I know I joke about it, and I am afraid to be at your house by myself. Yeah. But while I'm there, I don't feel, hear, nothing. Like there's honestly time. I know I joke The Chucky thing did throw me off.
Yeah.
But like I feel at peace when I'm at your house. You know what I mean?
Well, now especially.
Well, yeah, but even before, like I'm shocked that I've made it this far.
Because they're just like, oh shit, it's that scary buff dude. Look at him, he's gonna kick our ass.
I'm honestly shocked I've made it this far in life and have never ever experienced anything
and that's
like that.
probably exactly why, you know, because you're not that you're afraid of it. I think maybe like your aura, your presence it's more of a on the side of light. Good. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know.
But you don't think it's weird? My whole life, never, ever.
No, but I just can't wait till you finally do experience something. It's gonna be great.
What?
It's like Eric, you know, Prieto. He said he had never until that day when he was playing drums. He said he had never, ever.
You've left me in that room alone many a times.
Yeah.
Nothing. Beachcomber house. I used to practically live there. Nothing.
I can't wait.
I babysat Damien one night. Keep in mind, I've turned on every fucking light in that house. Nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, sometimes it's just like kind of like mediums, right? Like things are more attracted to them. You know, I honestly, in my opinion, I mean, and again, I have what does my opinion even matter at this point? I don't know shit, but I don't know.
Glad you finally admitted it.
I always think about Native American blood. You have Native American blood, and that blood sometimes can be very, I don't know. There's just something interesting about that, like intimidating perhaps to like the spiritual side. I don't know.
I probably have like this big old Native American spirit behind me.
Yeah, exactly.
Going like this.
Yeah, exactly. Or you probably have this whole entourage around you that's like, don't even fuck with this motherfucker.
Do not come this way. Okay? There's no wanyanye here. Okay.
As they're walking up to my house, like, get inside.
Right.
Get inside. Don't even think about it. I don't know. I just feel that some people are more prone to these kinds of experiences than others.
Weak people. Yeah, I get it.
I feel like I had no say-so in any of this.
You didn't, Eric.
Yeah.
You didn't.
I mean, I experienced stuff at like the house I grew up in the Lower Valley, but it wasn't, again, it was never like to that. It wasn't until Eric started his bullshit.
Well, you were living there at the Monterey house the second time around with your dad, Mama,
yeah,
Damien.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see anything that time either, right? While you were there?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah, dude. All the time.
I don't remember you saying. I think maybe man. You just didn't want to tell me because you knew
bad.
Because you knew I was there all the time.
No, that was rough. That was a rough time. And even then, see, again, going back, during that time, my dad was like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. My dad never experienced anything. My dad never experienced anything up until last year. That was the first spiritual, ghostly, whatever you can call it. But from that moment of his first experience to when he passed away, it was a lot. It went from like never experiencing anything in his whole life to suddenly like, boom, it's like, fuck, there's no denying this. Him and I would have a lot of conversations about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was even almost to the point where like he was almost like a non-believer in that stuff.
Yeah.
Until his experience.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's a fucking way to wrap it up.
All right, I'm going to call it.
Yeah. Everybody, thank you for sticking around. Don't forget to share, like. I don't know how you do the podcast thing.
Yeah, you know, all that stuff.
All that great stuff. Don't forget all the other links and whatnot Paul has down.
And tune in for the rest.
Part 2 coming at you.
All right.
Don't forget to listen to Bleed, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.